Bitcoin just dropped more than $3,000. And somehow, that might be the most bullish thing that happened today. Yesterday, Bitcoin came within $63 of $81,300 before getting slammed. Today, sellers pushed it all the way down to $78,100. Support broke. Momentum flipped bearish. The chart looked ready for a deeper correction. Then, something important happened. Bitcoin stopped falling. Buyers stepped in, and within a very short window, BTC recovered more than $800. Now here's why that matters. This isn't happening on a random trading day. It's happening just hours before PCE inflation. And I think the market could be setting up for another run at $81,000. The key is this. Bitcoin doesn't need a weak PCE number. It may only need PCE to not be hot enough to give the bears what they need, because a lot of the selling may have already happened. Yesterday tells you everything. Bitcoin came within dollars of $81,300, tagging $81,237 before getting hit hard. More than $3,000 disappeared from the peak. For the first time after this enormous rally above $80,000, it looked like the deeper correction had finally arrived. Except one thing didn't happen. $78,000 did not break. Buyers showed up before that level gave way, and Bitcoin recovered. Then today, sellers tried again. Bitcoin opened near the upper $79,000 and got sold hard through the Asian session, all the way down to $78,100. Technically, this was exactly where the bears should have taken control. Bitcoin had already printed a lower high. Momentum was pointing down. The next obvious target was yesterday's low, followed by $78,000. But sellers couldn't get it there. Buyers came back, and that changes the entire setup heading into PCE. Everyone is waiting for PCE to tell them whether to buy or sell crypto. But markets don't always wait for the data. Sometimes they position before it. Bitcoin has already fallen more than $3,000 from yesterday's peak. Then it was sold again today. Profit has been taken. Weak longs have been shaken out, and when Bitcoin broke support this morning, fresh short sellers likely entered the market as well. The bears suddenly have a problem. They've sold Bitcoin after a major correction, but they may not get the catalyst they need to push it through $78,000. And if Bitcoin starts moving higher instead, those new short positions begin coming under pressure. That's when tonight could get very interesting, very fast. Here's why the second move could be faster than the first. Imagine Bitcoin starts recovering after PCE. First, existing buyers return. Then momentum traders see the reversal and jump in. But there's another source of demand most people aren't accounting for. The people who sold this morning, if they're forced to exit, their exits become buy orders. That's short covering. And that's how an ordinary rebound can accelerate. That's why I'm watching the $79,500 level so closely. If Bitcoin decisively reclaims that area after PCE, today's sell-off starts being erased. Then today's earlier high becomes much more important. Break that, and the bearish structure we've been watching all morning is gone. At that point, we're no longer talking about defending $78,000. We're talking about retesting $81,000. And remember, Bitcoin already reached $81,237 yesterday. It doesn't need to travel thousands of dollars to get there. The market has already shown that it can trade at those prices. It just needs another catalyst to challenge them. Now, I'm making a directional call here. My base case is higher after PCE. But there's a very clear point where that view needs to be reassessed. If PCE comes in materially hotter than expected, Treasury yields jump, the dollar strengthens, and Bitcoin loses today's rebound, then the bullish setup fails. The first warning would be a move back through $78,100. If sellers then attack yesterday's low and finally break through $78,000, we're looking at a very different market. That would suggest today's recovery was only temporary, and the deeper correction may finally be underway. So forget the question everyone was asking during this morning's sell-off. How far can Bitcoin fall? Here's the question that matters now. What if the sell-off has already happened? What if $78,100 was the final shakeout before PCE? Because if inflation doesn't revive the rate scare, Treasury yields stay contained, and Bitcoin starts reclaiming today's losses. The people who sold the breakdown could suddenly find themselves on the wrong side of the move. And then, this rebound has two engines: fresh buying and short covering. That's the setup I'm watching. My base case tonight is clear. Bitcoin moves higher after PCE. Reclaim today's high, and attention shifts straight back toward yesterday's peak. Then $81,000 is back in play. But if $78,100 breaks and $78,000 finally gives way, the call is wrong. Then the deeper correction becomes the story. Tonight, PCE could decide which side gets squeezed first. We'll be watching Treasury yields, the dollar, and whether Bitcoin can make another run at $81,000. Subscribe for the next market update.